Welcome to YTC's Learning Zone. Today we're chatting a little bit about Montessori and unschooling. But before I get into that, let me remind you to hit subscribe and click the little bell so that you always get notifications when we have a new video posted. All right, on to the meat of it. A lot of people think that Montessori and unschooling are like mutually exclusive. Like they don't overlap, they don't connect, they don't intersect in any space. And I am here to tell you 100% that is absolutely untrue. And I won't lie, I learned it by accident because I am a Montessori guide. I was trained in the Montessori method. I have a credential and I taught in classrooms and I was an administrator. And I ran a Montessori homeschool enrichment program in my house at one point. So I've done quite a bit with the Montessori method in an actual classroom. It wasn't until my kids got a little bit older and we started doing a lot more EIC, which is Environment as Integrated Curriculum, that I started to realize just how integrated Montessori and unschooling are. The three biggest tenets for Montessori homeschooling are follow the child, prepare the environment, and don't interrupt them. Those are the three biggest things that if you can get those three like really honed down and as part of your daily routine, you're gonna be fine. Those three things are also the biggest things to apply to unschooling. Follow the child, prepare the environment, and don't interrupt them. Now, follow the child is pretty obvious, right? You're going to learn what they're interested in, and that's going to change regularly. We roll with it. It's all good. Preparing the environment might sound like it doesn't apply to unschooling so much, but it really does. In a classroom, in our homeschool classroom, we prepare this environment. I create the materials, I buy the materials, I sit down with them and I give them lessons on the materials. Everything here is prepared to help them learn the things that they want to learn. The things that they need to learn, let's be honest, it's still there too. In unschooling, the environment that I am preparing is a little more abstract, I'll admit, but I am still preparing it in the way of choosing where we go, making plans, coordinating with other families to go on field trips together. I'm doing research ahead of time so that when we get there, I know what we want to do at this museum or this park or whatever it might be. That's me preparing that environment. I'm bringing along study aids if I want, a book to identify mushrooms, whatever that might be. I'm preparing ahead of time to make sure that we get as much out of that as possible. That's still me preparing the environment. I'm making sure we have the tools that we need to successfully accomplish whatever the lesson is for the day. The third thing is not interrupting. And this is the single hardest thing for new Montessorians and for parents who aren't intrinsically understanding of this concept. When we interrupt our children in a classroom or out in nature, natural environments, forests, parks, or museums and field days, whatever, it doesn't matter. When we interrupt our children to say even a word of encouragement, good job, I saw that was amazing, we are breaking their focus, which creates a situation where they can't internalize it as successfully or as easily as they would have had we not interrupted. And that's a really quick overview of that concept, but it stands true. In a classroom, most new teachers have a hard time not walking up behind little Johnny and saying, "What are you drawing? That's so interesting," when he's perfectly concentrated. Same thing happens in unschooling. Parents, maybe not as much because the kids are like usually off and more away from them, but they still have this like intrinsic need to project their own thoughts, ideas, opinions, whatever, on what's happening. Rather than just standing back and observing what's happening, letting what's happened unfold the way that it's going to unfold, and letting the children come to their own conclusions about all the things that they're seeing or encountering. That is the biggest hurdle for most new Montessori teachers and parents. It's also a really big hurdle for unschooling parents to take that step back and let their kids experience the world and the lesson in whatever way it presents itself. So, Montessori, unschooling. The 3 biggest tenets for Montessori are also the 3 biggest tenets for unschooling. Next week will be a slew of videos, because they're pretty quick, going through and touring the shelves in our classroom. So if that's something that you're interested in, the actual nitty-gritty of a classroom in your home, you're gonna wanna watch out for those videos. So they'll all be there by the end of next week, and you'll be able to see what's going on in the classroom. If you want more unschooling videos and want to see how that looks in our day and in our routine, leave me a comment below and let me know. See you next time.